So here's somebody with a great mind, clearly, and yet she still falls into the pitfalls of Hollywood. That's what I don't understand. How?
Well, I think not only, but certainly Hollywood, because it's the most exaggerated version of self-awareness in the physical sense, and being very. I mean, I was even told when I started out that 40 would be the end, and definitely don't say you have kids because then you're not very sexy.
And what did that do to you? How did you?
Well, obviously it didn't do anything to me, but but I mean, you just have to follow what interests you and your passion. I've always had a really good time working, so I didn't really think about it.
So what is it, strength of character then? Because there are many great actresses who got to that age.
I don't know if it's character, no plan B, I don't know what it is. I don't live in that town. That helps. Because when you're surrounded, I mean, you do get the sense when you go to the grocery store and you're picking up a head of lettuce that if you don't have makeup on, you could be losing work. So, I mean, I think it's much more difficult when you live there. And also, you're very isolated in Los Angeles, just geographically, you know, because everything's so spread out and you have to be invited to dinner and you go to much more social events. In New York, you're just kind of on foot and everybody, you know, goes, hey, how's it going?
So what's Hollywood like now in light of what's been uncovered and the campaigns? Have you seen or heard of this sea change amongst the Hollywood execs, the guys of Hollywood?
I think there's a sea change because people are being held responsible. Again, I'm outside of Hollywood a little bit, but I know when we brought all our activists to the Golden Globes, and there was a lot of talking with the other women, and I think that they're, you know, because you have to hold accountable the people that facilitated everything, too. These guys weren't able to get away with this, and there were women who spoke up that nobody listened to.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's changed. And then from the Me Too, we've gone to the Time's Up, where there's a, where there's a fund that can enable people, and the really important thing is to understand that ours might be the juicy story, but that this, as long as we have this imbalance and an economic imbalance, and we don't have a decent minimum wage and everything, that women in all industries, I mean, if you're working in a hotel and you're harassed, what do you do if you have a family? You know, how do you address this when you don't have when there's such an imbalance of power? And so I think that the very roots of that have to be addressed, and that's what's going on. And Hetty, you know, she played the game, and she was very, very effective. And then I think a lot of her problem was that she turned against herself in a way. You know, she bought their standards, and for whatever reasons, she bought into her worth being determined by her looks. And
do you think Hetty would ever have thought there'd be a day when, you know, Hollywood would sort of unite and there'd be this sea change, that there'd be this Me Too campaign, that there would be? What do you think she would have made of this?
I think she'd be happy about it. I think she'd be happy about it. She's very funny. I mean, she's very droll and kind of. I think she'd have a good sense of humor. You know, there were a lot of people. I mean, Joan Crawford disappeared. You know, people that thought it would be better just not to be seen. And I gotta say, when I did Atlantic City, it was the first time that Burt Lancaster was seen looking, I mean, they even made his hair whiter and did whatever they could to kind of make him look older. And there were people that were very mad when they met him, when they saw us on the street filming. They didn't like Burt Lancaster turning into an older guy. So, you know, there's a bit of a, you know, I've done already an old, when I did Tammy, I did a complete, you know, and I've played a lot of disfiguring kind of parts, but there are some people that everybody holds. And Hetty was one of those people. She was the most beautiful woman in the world.
But Hepburn got away with it. I mean, Katharine Hepburn grew old on screen for us.
That's true, in a great way. I should be that lucky. But she also played, she was kind of a character actor. She wasn't known as a great beauty. She was beautiful, but she wasn't sold that way, you know, so she didn't have to hold on to that. She could just keep wearing slacks and you know, kind of shaking and going on, but she wasn't selling herself as the most beautiful woman in the world. She was more gutsy than that. So I think...
Your daughter's an actress, isn't she?
Not anymore. When she started having kids, she became a very successful blogger, because she could work at home, and she just was like, why am I wasting my time? I totally understood. But I've got all my kids are in the business. One's a director, and another one's an actor and a musician. You can't stop them.
What did you get us today?
What do you
Did
mean?
you get us anything? No? Huh?
Oh, me. I think I got to me.
I just read that you were a fantastic present giver.
I am a fantastic present giver.
What's
Well,
the
now
key?
that I know you, I mean, maybe I could do something with your laughing fits.
Oh.
Maybe, there you go. See, we could do some kind of
Yeah.
a little something with your giggles.
Yeah, okay.
Gosh.
Or
Please help
maybe
if
like
you
a
can
necklace
suggest
that
anything.
said giggle.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
one
not
of
sure it
those.
looked great on me, but...
Now that I know you, I'll have to think about it. Do you have any birthdays coming up?
Yes,
or-
I do.
Yeah, you
When
do,
is your
actually.
birthday?
1st of April.
Yeah, April Fool. I mean, go figure.
Giggle's perfect for you.